Hello, I'm Rose McDonough. I'm a retired home ec teacher. I'm just doing some videos to let people know some of the interesting things that I think I do. Today you're joining me in my very messy laundry room because I want to do some painting. I need to show you what I'm going to paint. So this stand that I want to paint today, my dad built it for me when I was a junior in college. I have no idea what he used to build it because there's some holes in it, of which I'm going to leave. And it used to have back here behind the T111, I thought it was, but I think it was actually paneling pieces that he put on the back. You can see it almost better down here. He had put some really ugly wallpaper there, and I washed that off several days ago. I soaked it up, and then after that I was able to peel it off, and then I washed the whole thing with a bleach water, and now it's ready to go. I want to paint it, and I want to make it look a little bit better today. So what do I need to paint it? Well, I have all of my stuff here, and I'm going to show you what I have. I have my paint that I had gotten. I've had this for a while, but I mixed it up and it's ready to go. I have this stuff that if you saw anything I've done before, when I whitewashed a fireplace, I used this, the calcium carbonate. It says it raises beer pH, but I'm using it to make my chalk paint. I also have some water ready to go, and I've got a measuring spoon, and I just have a plastic knife that I'm going to use to cut everything up with. I've already put in just about a half of a cup of, not a half of a cup, about a cup of paint in here. So I'm ready to go with that. And for my cup of paint, my recipe says that I need 2 tablespoons. I'm going to almost have to order this soon, which is, I get it from Amazon. I'm sure there are other places to get it, but that just happens to be the first time I did it. That's where I found it. I've painted several times before. In fact, I've got my paint shirt on and my paint pants that are completely covered with paint because I'm sloppy. I bought a dresser and it was painted black. She also had a desk that somebody had painted, and I don't know what kind of paint they used, but the paint was peeling off of it. The recipe also says for about a tablespoon of water or more. I'm actually not doing a quite full tablespoon. I just want to mix it up first and see what I think of it. If I need to, I'll thin it out a little bit. Chalk paint goes very far. All right, so the desk. I peeled all of the paint off of the desk. Literally was able to peel it off in sheets. I don't know what kind of paint was on it, but it was awful. I roughed up the desk, and then I did the chalk paint. So I did the chalk paint on that, and I also did the chalk paint on her dresser and on an end table. So they all were in matching, and they look great together, and they're still in her apartment to this day. I don't know how much longer she'll use it, but I kind of liked it. I had a blue that I had gotten for something else, and I just used it for that one. Okay, you want it to be a little bit thin. This is still a little bit thick, so I'm going to add just a little bit more to it. Didn't even do a whole one. And that's it. And after I've done this, I'm going to get started painting. When I'm finished with this, especially this top part, because I'm going to use this, I'm not going to paint the whole thing this color. I'm going to do 2 different colors. But when I am finished with it, I'm also going to put a Minwax on it because I want to give this top part a little bit of a harder of a surface. The chalk paint will chip off. Fine if you're using something that it's not going to get dinged, but I happen to know the top of it's going to get some definite wear and tear. So that's it. I'm going to start painting after I get this, and that's about it. That's what I want. See how it's sort of rolling? That's what I want. That's the texture I want. It's going to go very far. This whole thing is going to do each of the parts that I want to do on here, and I'll be back in a little while to show you more. Don't judge my painting. This is what I have left, and that'll be enough just for a second coat. This is what it looks like now. And in here, and you'll see, you can definitely use a second coat in here, which is fine. But it went very quickly, wasn't hard to do. So I'll wait, and I'll do my second coat on here. When I'm done with my second coat, then I'm obviously going to do my other paint. I finished painting yesterday. I did 2 different colors. Unfortunately, I brought my Minwax, this is a paste, And I've used this on all of the things that I have painted with the chalk paint to finish it off and make it a hard finish. And unfortunately, I brought it in and I put some stuff on top of it and I actually scratched the paint. So I touched up where I had scratched the paint, and I want to at least show you, I was able to do one side with the Minwax, and I want to be able to show you how to do that. Obviously, it's really hard to see on something like this, but I have already put the Minwax on here, and this doesn't. You cannot feel what I'm feeling, but this is smooth. This is a little bit rougher. That's the thing about chalk paint, is it's rougher. So what I'm going to do is just take a little bit of this. I have a soft cloth. I'm going to dig in and take some out. And I'm going to start over here, and I'm going to do little circles, I guess, is what it is. I'm going to do little circles. I got to go into the corner. Always when I go into the corner, I end up leaving a little bit in there of the paste. And you want to do small parts at a time. It's not like I want to do the whole thing and then come back. I'm going to rub it in almost until I can barely tell it's there. And I'm now feeling, oh, I don't have enough. I'm going to take that little bit I threw out and finish putting that in here. Everybody knows how to paint. Really, it's not that big of a deal. And I'm going to show you what I have used before, which is a bare paint and primer in one. I think I failed to say that when I started out yesterday. That's the paint that I have used, and I'll get that and show you. All right, so I've done that. I've mixed it all in. I don't know how well you can see it. It's there, and I can see my little circles. I'm going to let that dry for about a minute or two. I'm going to let that start to dry, and then I'm going to come back over and I'm going to buff it out again. This is the paint that I have used. So it is Bare Premium Paint and Primer in one. It's a medium base interior flat. This is what I have read online is really good to use, and that's why I chose to use that when I have done it. You can tint it, get whatever you want. Now, I will tell you, had this paint for a little while, and this that I just did is very similar to that color, but what I did is I took that and I added white to it. So I mixed it up and I actually made my own paint. Spend just about a minute and a half, 2 minutes, and I'm gonna come back over here and I'm just gonna go back over, and I found a clean spot in my cloth, and I'm going to start taking it off. You can see it's taking a little bit of the color off. That's okay, I'm not worried about that. It's just very little, just melding it together. And I'm just buffing it back out again, buffing it, and giving it a harder surface. It's weird. I know that you can't see because, you know, the miracle of TV and phones and things is not the best, and that's what I'm doing it on. But I can clearly see the difference between this side and the wax on top of it. So this isn't going to scratch like this so easily had scratched earlier. What I want to be able to do is to show you the finished product. So I have the dark color on the inside, and then I have my shelves out of blue. I also did my outside pieces in blue. I just put some paper down underneath there when I was painting it, just in case I dripped, which I didn't drip. It was just as I was doing my paintbrush, I wasn't so good. Thanks so much for coming back and checking out this. For those of you who are actual subscribers, you know I haven't done anything for months and months. My life has been such that I haven't had time to do any of this kind of stuff. But I'm back, and Brooke and I talked about it. Maybe we'll just do once a month from now on. I am running out of ideas. Help me out. Let me know something that maybe I do that you would like to see. All right. Caitlin Vogel, who I'm pulling today, and she liked the pasta and the popcorn, and Caitlin Vogel is pretty talented herself in some of the things that she does. So thank you, Caitlin. I appreciate it. And the next one I pulled out is Susan Barley, who is also a new subscriber at some point. Thank you so much. I don't know, just want to help people out with some ideas. Good luck. Have a wonderful day, week, whatever it is for you. It's Thursday here, so enjoy. Thank you.